everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a very special guest. Her name is Charlsie Gaetano. She is a rock star on Team Powerhouse, and I am so excited to have her here. We've been asking Charlsie to make time for us for a little while since we started, and it's been tough to get her on the show because she's been so very busy. You're going to love talking with her today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You know how to get a hold of us. Make sure to join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, etc. All right. So if you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube yet, go to YouTube, Team Powerhouse Real Estate, right? You're going to subscribe. You're joining us live every week, and you can always watch our shows later on as well. All right, so Charlsie being with us here today, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to make sure that we have no phone calls come in as these phones go crazy.
I'm on airplane mode over here.
Airplane mode, very good idea.
Yes.
So Charlsie, let's talk about you and the fact that you're a brilliant individual on many levels. Besides that you're a very good-looking person, you are extremely brilliant, and you have so much to share with so many people and have a chance to work with them. So let's talk about you getting in the real estate market. What did you do before you got into real estate, first of all?
Before I was in real estate, I was doing a lot of administrative jobs. Back from, I don't know, a long time ago, back from when I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's about a couple years ago, yeah.
Yeah, a couple years ago, quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing administrative work for a temp agency because I was actually only in Connecticut for about half the year, and then I would go to Maine, and I had a job up there, which I realized was kind of like in sales also, working at an amusement park on the beach.
What was the amusement park you worked at in Maine? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was called Palace Playland.
It's still open?
It's still there, yes. And the first year I was there, the first summer, I sold sunglasses.
Wow.
And then I took one summer off because I worked so hard during the winter. And then I remember I was, when I went back, I started working in a game part-time. But that is there's so many people that go there during the summer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
So it goes from like a 2,000, population town to like 100,000.
No kidding. I've never been there before. Maybe somewhere I'll bring Drew to have some fun.
Oh my God, she would love it.
She would love it. Is it like a young person place to bring little kids?
It's everything. It's kind of like, I would see families over and over again every summer.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, so you make it like a tradition. And
then what did you do after that?
Well, I was still doing administrative jobs, and actually around the year 2001,
yes,
I actually had a laptop selling business with my significant other at the time.
Yes.
And
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
so when I realized, a couple of years ago that I'm actually in sales, because they call this, a salesperson job, which I don't feel like it is. I'm like, how did I get into sales? Well, hello, I was the CEO of TechWares, a laptop company,
wow.
And I was the, in-person sales contact and all that kind of stuff. And
no kidding.
The other person was the other part of it.
And then you get into real estate. How did that come about? Like, how did you get involved in the real estate game? Like, where did it start from?
It started when I came back to Connecticut from living in Florida. In 2013, I realized it was time to get a job, and I knew I wanted a part-time job. So I started off as a part-time admin for a very busy real estate office.
That, by the way, speaking of admin work, if you've never been in real estate before, jumping into an admin type job is like kaboom. There's so many things coming at you, all these agents, all these things happening. You've got a ton of things to learn.
There was so much, and at that time I didn't know the difference between a listing and a contract, so it was not any sort of administrative work that I had ever done before.
So what you're saying is that anybody who's never done real estate before actually can do it, right? They have to get into it slowly, possibly, to kind of educate themselves. Well, you got this admin job, right? You were working in this company for a few years, You became pretty knowledgeable on the basic formats of contracts and documentation and what is involved in the real estate game. And then you said, I want to get my real estate license.
Yeah, well, actually, we went to, I went to a real estate convention in 2015.
Okay.
And one of the classes I took was about goal setting and things like that. So I made one of my primary goals to get my real estate license.
You mentioned goal setting. Now, let's just talk about you guys out there. Every day, we should be setting goals for ourselves, no matter what you're doing in life, right? I don't care if you're selling newspapers, which people don't do anymore. If you're, whatever job you have, you should have every year and every time a goals and list of things you want to do in life.
Right.
And if you write things down, you know what happens?
They come true when you actually manifest them and you write them down and you have it was a structure I had on my goal system. It's called the 1-3-5. Like you have one major goal and then 3 goals that are going to achieve that one goal.
That is pretty smart. A good outline.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
I love it. So now you decided to do real estate class.
Yes, I took the real estate course. And it was in person.
Yeah, in person, right? Because nowadays everything's virtual.
Now it's virtual.
If you decide you want to get your real estate license today, by the way, they're still doing virtual classes,
right.
Which is actually pretty cool. Very convenient. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think most of the time it's going to be on like a 2.5-hour class. And then on top of that, you can be in the comfort of your home as opposed to you and I when we were in classes. Sitting down in a classroom, it's long, it's sometimes very boring. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to concentrate. It's at nighttime typically, right?
It is at night, and I felt like it was better for me because there was a lot of like math involved.
Yeah.
And it was stuff that a couple other people were better at than me.
Yep.
In that aspect, so going over things with those people and having camaraderie with the people in my class.
Right.
And I think out of maybe 16 or 20 people. I mean, the classroom test was very hard.
Very hard.
And
yes.
I passed it the first time, and I was like sweating. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much.
I definitely remember the class test when the teacher was, okay, the majority of this class won't pass the test the first time in this classroom test. And you pass that test, you're like, all I need is a 70 to get the class the test for the class.
I think you need a 70.
I'm not even sure what it is today. I remember, and then you have to take the national and state test, right?
Yes.
And the national and state test they have set up for us, and then at the time was much different than today. I understand I think it's much more difficult. But what I do know is that if you take the state and national test and you get things wrong, you don't pass, they actually can tell you what areas you don't do well in, as opposed to when you and I took the test, if you didn't pass, you didn't know what you didn't do correctly. And that was very challenging. So when you passed, when I took my first time taking the national and state test, I actually passed the state and didn't pass the national. I was crushed, emotionally crushed. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I studied so hard. And then all I wanted to do was make sure I got the next test as soon as possible, because the longer you waited, the harder it was to retain that information.
Yeah, to retain it.
When you took your state and national test, did you pass the first time both?
I did pass the first time.
Wow, that's amazing.
I did.
Most people do not pass a real estate exam the first time, both of them. That's very impressive. You have to be very strong in vocabulary. More than anything else is the vocabulary. But the most important thing is you're driven. And if you've got enough drive and a why in life that is so strong, your why was big. You had a board of objections and things you wanted to succeed in, and you nailed it. And that's pretty amazing.
And I remember someone that I actually referred to, Coldwell Banker, in 2017. She helped me out by giving me some tests from. She took the classes at a different board.
Yeah.
So she gave me all her notes and all her practice tests, and that helped me tremendously.
And as far as those tests go, by the way, they have now all this stuff online, all these review exams.
The practice tests,
which I didn't have back when I got in 16.
Oh, you didn't have
Sorry,
that?
Not 16. In 05, when I took the real estate license, they didn't have any of the stuff online. Nothing was available. Everything. We had a book that was this thick. You were going through highlighting and memorizing, and your practice tests were in the back of the book somewhere or something like that.
Well, these were totally separate than the ones in the book. So
Right.
I was so grateful to have these tests,
Mm-hmm.
and I would do them over and over and over again, make sure I got at least an 80% you know,
That's excellent.
and I knew I was ready.
So we get a real estate license. It's 2016. You're
Yes.
so excited. You now are working with a company that you were an admin there, right?
Yes, I was still working as an admin.
Yep.
Yes.
And slowly you started to get some business from them, right? Were they kind of helping you, or did you have to get your own business?
Well, what happened was I made the decision that, okay, it's time for me to replace myself as an admin, and I wanted to be a buyer's agent
Yes.
for that team
Yes.
that I was on. So it was very hard for me to think that I could replace myself as being the admin, because I knew I did such a great job.
To go from one thing you've been doing for a few years now to go into being the woman, the person in charge, making things happen with clients,
Yeah.
right? Now,
Right.
when you were working with that team, did you have every time you got a sale, was it under your name? Did you get recognition for it?
No.
Right. So this is something very important. When you join a team, and you join a team that you want to learn from, but getting personal recognition from, where that means that every time you make a sale, you want to be, hey, Charlsie Gaetano, sale number 1, sale number 2. At the end of the year, 25 sales. You want to make sure you're the person included in everything about that real estate team. You want to be recognized. And most teams don't do that. And that's a flaw, in my opinion. On our team, as you know, every person is an absolute rock star to be lifted up and to be presented to the rest of the world about who you are, what you do, and how many sales you've made. All right,
Yes.
let's go back into, you've got a real estate license, right?
Well, I didn't get to finish. So
I'm so sorry, yes.
the person that they brought in
Yes.
to replace me that
Yes.
they chose was someone who is now on our team,
She is.
Madison Hill.
Yes.
So I trained her as an admin, and
Which is pretty amazing.
I know, and
Yes.
I thought I did the best job, but I think she actually did. She's more creative than me, and she got it very quickly. And I didn't realize that she had also.
Madison has a way about her that her person. First, we see Madison, she's got this smile, electrifying, right? And
Yes.
she's wicked smart, and she's very you can look at her, she's got thing going on, and she's good at all the placements of things that have to go where it has to be done, and I can't use the right word for it, but
Right.
she's good at that stuff. for
Yeah,
sure.
she is,
So
and yeah,
she
she did
takes
it
your
tremendous.
place?
Yeah, she took my place, and then I mean, I started off by doing open houses every weekend. I mean, even when I was still being an admin,
Yes.
open houses every weekend, and it was this huge house in Bethany, I remember, and actually did end up selling it.
That's awesome.
That was so
You know,
awesome.
And in this market today, we don't even have open houses hardly at all because homes sell so quickly, as opposed to back in the day, you were hoping a house would sell. The market was different, so
Yes.
different. So an open house typically was for us. In real estate, an open house is not for the seller, right? The open house is really for us as agents to help us build our clientele base.
Yeah,
Right.
and it was very important to me because I hadn't been out as an agent and talking to people. I mean, of course, I would talk to them on the phone, but only on an administrative level. So getting in front of people and
Learning
building
the lingo,
relationships,
yes.
and
Conversations.
yeah, and you have to talk to certain people different ways.
That's
you have
right.
to learn their the way their
Style.
language, their style of language, and
It's funny.
match that.
It's funny you mentioned when I was in real estate, there was a class I took called Top Gun. This class was for the best of the best. And I remember my manager at the time said, listen, my first year I got into business, I was actually rookie of the year. I sold like 25 homes. It was crazy. So I had no idea. All I knew is I needed money, and I had a child, and I had to make money, and I was going to go out there and knock on doors until I made money. But in the
I
process,
did door knocking.
right? Door knocking was absolutely what we did. And in the process, I took this class called Top Gun. And my managers at the time said, hey, listen, take this Top Gun class. It's going to help you build confidence in yourself. And it forced us to get out there and call people up, knock on doors, and put contracts together in order to pass the class, right? And you took another class like that called Bold, you mentioned, I think, to me.
Yes.
And that Bold class you took basically did the same kind of thing. So in real estate, while you just get your license, and even if you had your license for a while, taking classes to help get you out there and be involved and push you is like lighting the fire in our tush. Right?
It was, yeah. With Bold, you had to make 100 contacts per week, and it's not like you could just call someone and they could hang up on you. Like,
That's right.
you actually have to have a conversation with the person and I was really serious about it. So, if I was up to, 85, 90 contacts for the week, I would actually leave the house, go up and down a busy street and hit up all the establishments and hand out my card and make that 100 contacts, because okay, yeah, I can go to class and say, okay, yeah, I did 100 contacts and not really have done it.
Right.
But I wanted to be accountable.
Right. You are a different breed, Charlsie. And I say it to you because that's why you're so successful. In order to be successful in this business, it's something you have to have in your heart, right? You have to have in your heart, you have to have in your mind, and you have to be very focused. Getting your license is step one. But what drives you in this business is to make you successful. And it's going to actually be felt on the other side of the table as we meet people. And they're going to see it, they're going to feel it, and they're going to know how serious you are about what you do, how you do things, and how your conversation goes with them. Those relationships, as we talked about from day one. All right, let's go back to you and me. We meet each other for the first time on our first deal. And I'm selling a property, and here comes Charlsie with her client that wants to buy the house, right?
Yes.
And we built a relationship right off the bat. We laughed, we joked around, and we had problems in this deal. Yes. And I remember that the buyer had a lender, and they had to switch the mortgage. You reminded me about that.
My buyer had bought their first home using a chattel loan, and with that sort of loan, you have to be in that residence for the entirety of the loan. Yes. So with them purchasing another property, they had to switch to, they had to refinance that into a conventional loan.
Yes.
So it obviously took a couple more months than the usual.
But the part was, when I was working with Charlsie, I could see the fire inside her, and I knew that when I was talking with her, she was not going to BS me. She let me know about her buyer, the situation. So I was able to explain to my seller at the time that, listen, I trust this girl. I spoke with the lender. I know what's going on to make the seller feel comfortable. Because it did take longer. But at the time, when the market was slow, the seller didn't have anything else going on. You didn't know that. But my job was to help get that along with your buyer moving forward. And in doing that together, we definitely had this chemistry. The chemistry that we had was very different, and it was a trust factor. And with that trust factor we had, I knew, based on how hard you wanted something, that you were the right girl for our team. So what did I say? I said, Charlsie, listen, what did I say to you?
You said, are you happy where you're at? Where do you want to be in a couple of years? Or, what's the situation? And, I kind of expressed, I don't really know. I'm still kind of new to this. I'm only a buyer's agent. I would like to get into the listing side of it also. And you encouraged me to at least meet with our manager, Jen
Bueller,
who is amazing.
Amazing. Sweet as sugar.
Yeah.
Wicked smart.
Very smart. I mean, So I met with her and also you, and, went over everything. And I was like, this could be the right fit for me. My next, my
career change,
my career jump. Yeah. And the monetary way that, that was presented to me, with being on this team versus the other team, I gave myself an instant raise, so that was amazing for me.
You know what, Charlsie, I believed in you from the beginning because I knew who the kind of person you were. When it comes to an agent, right, when we sit down with somebody, it's not just a talk. You have to feel it in here. And I felt it right away with Charlsie, that I knew that she was driven and she wanted to be not only successful financially, personally. And one of the biggest things about Charlsie, I want to make sure that everybody knows about her, is she cares about her clients. She goes to bat for them every time. She bats hard, she swings hard, and she does not let anybody push her clients around. And that to me was something special, because not a lot of agents have that guts, if you will. And when you look for an agent to have work for you, find or selling, you want to make sure that that person is not willing to give up. She was out there fighting for her, and I was impressed by that. Charlsie is, I don't know, how tall are you?
With my tall shoes on, maybe 5 feet.
All right, so here's a young lady here coming in with heels at 5 foot tall. All right, swinging like she's 6 footer at me. I was so impressed by that. And you know what? I was excited to have you join this team, and the team loves you. We'll talk more about the team in a second. Let's talk more about, let's see. So you decided to come to our team, right? And you meet me. I got to ask you. You met me for the first time. What was your thoughts and feelings? I just want to know. By the way, cheers to you joining our team. Charlsie is not drinking water in this glass here, by the way.
Cheers. And I got my tumbler finally with my name on it. Here.
And when you come on the show, you guys get a tumbler, by the way. All right, so cheers to you.
Cheers, Steve.
All right, so you meet me for the first time. I'm telling you to join this team. You get on the team. Tell the people out there what it's been like. What sets me, this team, apart from anything you've been involved in, and what kind of give a little something in the background. She could talk crap about me right now, but let's see what happens. Hopefully she won't.
No, well, you're a huge personality.
Yes.
I know that. And it was different from any personality I think I had experienced.
Yes.
So that was big. But also, we had talked on the phone so much about the deal and everything.
Yes.
Let me see. What sets this team apart?
Yeah, so let's talk about what do I do for you? What kind of things do you enjoy?
I enjoy that we're all equals.
Yes.
I enjoy that we all have different personalities, but we all come together and help each other.
Absolutely.
When needed.
Yes.
And just everything that you do for us, on this team is amazing. The marketing, the constant marketing, and the leads that you provide us.
Thank you. You're welcome, and I'm happy because, listen, the most important thing for my team agents is for your success in making as much money as you deserve to make, right?
Right.
So if you're out there looking to, make money in this business, you've got to do it by a couple of ways. You've got to have drive. You've got to have the knowledge, the skill, the conversation. We talk all the time about different conversations and clients and buyers and sellers, and we correlate back and forth because you have great ideas all the time. And I'm talking to clients and I'm stuck on something. You say, well, what about, maybe doing this like this? What a great idea, and vice versa.
I know when you call me up to do, a comparable market analysis, I'm like, wow, Dave wants me to help him out on a comparable market analysis, and I'm pretty analytic, so
You're very analytic.
I can usually come up with the best
You
price.
are. It's important because what happens is sometimes as we as agents, we think we know everything, but it's good to get a second opinion.
It is.
And our team has so much depth in it. From Eric to Gary to Jean-Max to Balavin to Madison to our newest agent, Caitlin, right? And all these agents come together with different backgrounds and knowledge and experiences and conversation pieces, and it helps us all together as a team to really set ourselves up, right?
Yes. Yes. We're all work differently, but yeah, it's great to collaborate and get things done. Like, if there's something that someone can't get done, there might be advice from another person on the team.
Absolutely.
Or from Jen.
Absolutely.
Our manager
Jen is phenomenal. Jen is like a therapist. She's a doctor. She's a personality. She's a shoulder to cry.
Yes, and she's so generous, and oh my God, she's everything.
She's somebody special. When you're going to join an office, whatever office you want to join, the manager that you have that's behind the scenes, she really is the foundation of a company, of a brokerage, of a team, because she's our leader, right? And she's somebody who always backs us up, and she will fight for us and help us to succeed. And with that being said, as your team leader, we're all the same to me. I want to make sure that every one of our team agents is just as important as another. Now, and that's why it's important for me to make sure that you're all successful. And I love seeing you succeed. You're just killing it.
I know. Actually, I mentioned at our Christmas holiday party.
Yes.
About a week and a half ago, I said, when we had the continuing ed classes, in person.
Yes.
And somebody would say, okay, what office are you from? And I would say, Coldwell Banker, North Haven.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jen's your manager. These are people, agents I've never met or brokers I've never met. And oh my God, tell her I said hello. She's amazing. So, I mean, everybody who meets her remembers her.
That's
Absolutely.
For sure, 100%. Let's talk about, let's see some more things about being a new agent experience. Let's talk about you as an agent when it comes to buyers and sellers, right? What do you prefer? Do you have a preference of buyers and sellers? What do you like to work with?
I like to work with both buyers and sellers.
Good answer.
Yeah, both. I mean, I started off as a buyer's agent, so I got a lot of experience in that. And being an admin for 3.5 years, that was very much a realtor boot camp for me.
Absolutely.
Listening to it day in, day out, and I can't even imagine going into this business not even knowing the forms that we use and things like that. So I think I had a little bit of an upper hand, but working with buyers and sellers, they're both so completely different.
Yes, that's for sure.
And you have to think about it in those terms too. When you're working for a seller.
You're working with a seller. Are they leaving this place and going on to the next destination that is down south? Or are they selling and moving to the next location somewhere local, and the next destination that they're going to have their growing family, right? It's all building relationships with these clients. We love to build relationships. You're amazing at building relationships with your clients. Your clients love you. It's amazing to see the responses from social media when you post things, how many people will comment on your social media tags. And I love that. That's your character, that shows who you are, and you're fun about it. You post so many wild and fun things. And by the way, one of the things you're big into that I sidebar is over here, you're big on astrology.
I am.
And that's something that I've learned a lot about Charlsie is astrology, which I not know much about other than the fact I'm a Cancer. You definitely have some interesting pieces to the puzzle that you kind of throw out every so often.
I do, and actually, I was interested in it, and I think Madison is the one who was the catalyst for me to look up my whole birth chart.
No kidding.
Actually, and get way more into it. And now, being so analytical, I can actually, I'm very good at it. But actually, I think the first, going back to, sellers versus buyers, I think the first listing I did, I brought you with me on the listing appointment. It was in Wallingford. Yeah. And we got their house sold. I got their house sold, and I also got them into a new house at the same time in Naugatuck.
That's right.
And I remember them saying that we could move ever again because I don't think this could go any smoother. Because the closing happened with them selling their house and purchasing their new house within, 4 days or something.
One of the biggest things you just touched on is the experience of a seller, right? Who's selling and buying. So if someone is selling and buying, the amount of pressure they're on mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, their family life, their husbands and wives are fighting, it's crazy.
She was pregnant.
Right, she was pregnant. And imagine the mental state that someone's in, right? So our job is to be their therapist, their friend, and make them feel better about the fact that everything's going to be okay. We sit down all the time with people who are going to sell their house. And they say, I want to sell my house, but there's nothing out there for me to buy. What do we tell them? We say, hey, listen, don't worry about it. We're going to find you a house. We get your house in the market. And once your house goes in the market, guess what happens? Doors open up, properties come in the market. It's kind of like someone goes and they buy a car, right, for the first time. And all of a sudden they buy that car and everybody has that. They see that car everywhere, right? You never saw that car before until you bought it. And now it's every car that goes by is the same car you have.
Yes, that's true.
Right? So with someone selling a house, and it's kind of a silly analogy, but you go to sell your house, once you put your house in the market, that's a kinetic chain of events that happens that actually stems other people put their house in the market because they see your house for sale. So let's go back to the market we have right now. It's very important if you're out there. The market is about to explode, okay? The rates are supposed to go up, and the buyers want your house. If you're selling, you want to buy. You definitely want your house in the market as soon as possible. This 2022 is going to be a year that changes the real estate game. Because what's going to happen is, the sellers, if you're listening right now, get your house in the market. The rates are going to go up. The buyers want to buy your house before that rate goes up, right?
Yeah.
Which is going to change the market because I think the market is going to start to flood with homes. and not in a crazy way that could ever been before, but more than it was last year, because this last year was insane. We had no.
I think we
homes
have
for
the
sale.
lowest inventory ever right now.
The lowest in
So
history.
in history.
Do you know we're 4.8 million homes missing from the market?
Right.
4.8 million. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Right. So we
And there's
need
still
houses.
so many buyers out there, and yeah, if you own a house, like, contact me and I can help you get it ready
Let's
to
get
sell.
Jonathan, let's get Charlsie's contact information up on the screen, please, because it's important for people to know how to get in touch with her. Let's get her cell phone up there, please. Charles, you want to give Jonathan your phone number? Tell Jonathan when you're ready, Jonathan. He's ready.
203
203
982
982
7887.
7887. That's Charlsie Gaetano. If you're looking to sell or buy, she's going to take excellent care of you, all right? And she's going to make sure that your stress levels are brought down. Now, let's talk about...
Actually, you know what I just remembered?
Tell me.
I'm going to need more for sale signs.
Well, then I'll make sure we have them for you.
Yes.
Speaking of that, let's talk about what I do for my team.
Oh my God, you do so much.
Tell the people what I do.
It was such an easy transition, like getting on this team, because you, like, monetarily, you make it obviously better, commission wise, and also helping,
Leads,
with the for
buyers,
sale
sellers.
signs, with leads,
So what happens is we make sure
resources,
Thank you.
just everything.
when it comes to our signs, I basically want to make sure that most companies have a sign that has their phone number on it, their emblem. We have custom signs for our team that have your picture, your phone number
Yes,
on it.
I love
Because
that.
that's the person that should call, the listing agent. And it's important because you are the person that's going to know that house better than anybody else. And another thing about this whole thing, and talking about the team and you, when you go to list somebody's house, your whole team's working with you to sell that house.
Right.
So the benefit of working with a team, right, is not just having one agent, but having 8 agents which are on a team right now.
The exposure is 8 times,
That's
the amount of one.
Because we post on social media, which goes viral.
Yeah.
We have videos and
Yes.
photos, and our social media presence is pretty strong, I would say.
I know, and the videos you make, I definitely want to delve into that. I know, I work with our photographer who's amazing.
She is unbelievable.
I love her.
When we go to put your house in the market, it's going to be a movie of your home, right? And that's what makes things different.
When I go to do pictures, I'm so excited because I love Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki is amazing. We can't give Nikki's information out to the rest of the people, but our photographer and videographer is amazing,
Right.
and she does something like nobody else. Matter of fact, she actually is the leading videographer in Fairfield County, between Fairfield and New York. Her average home that she's videoing is about, I think, $10 to $40 million.
Right, I know that.
That's what she does, all the properties there.
Yeah.
We have exclusivity with her, which is pretty amazing, and she is a phenomenal.
Yeah, I know, and when I'm listing a home, I'm always like, oh my God, is she going to be available? And she always is.
Yeah,
So,
she's awesome.
yeah.
So know that when we go to sell your house, you can have the best photos and videos of your home. The movie of your house is going to be something that everybody's going to talk about for ages, which is pretty exciting. Let's talk about a couple more things quickly before we got to go. Do you want to talk about anything you specialize in, that you love, in real estate, that anything about yourself? And by the way, you sold, being with the team, 47 homes in the last couple of years. That's a lot of homes. And
there'll be another one this week, so I'm about to hit the 50 mark, and I'm really, really happy about that.
I'm going to give you a sneak peek about a property by the coming in the market. I just sat down with a wonderful family in West Haven. This house, and one of the greatest things about this podcast is talking about these kind of things. The house coming in the market in West Haven, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house that is absolutely stunning, 1 block from the water, all right? And I can't wait for you to see this property. Maybe we can just have you come. We have to get the whole team down there to see the property. It's phenomenal. So come in mid-January with the house coming in the market in West Haven, 1 block from the water,
Okay.
priced phenomenally. Wait to see watch the movie in this property here. It's going to be exciting.
The houses down there are really cool because they're right near the water.
Yes, and you know that West Haven has the largest stretch of water, I think, in all of Connecticut.
I would believe it, yeah.
It's actually phenomenal. So if you're looking to sell your house in the future, buy or sell, look at this girl here, Charlsie Gaetano. Our team would love to work for you. Call her, text her, We always respond to our phones, and we're very excited to do that. We have, of course, something very special to talk about. The next thing is the money wheel. Not the money wheel, but the spinner wheel, because we give out every week
the tumbler, yeah.
a tumbler to a special guest who watches our show. And before we do that again, I want to make sure you know how to watch us. It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube and Team Powerhouse Real Estate. Hit subscribe. By the way, every time you subscribe to one of our social media outlets, you actually go on the wheel and have a chance to win every week. So, for example, Instagram, Team Powerhouse. Facebook, we have Team Powerhouse Real Estate. You have Dave Lamel, which is me, of course. You can follow me. You can follow the team page. You have, let's call it TikTok, Team Powerhouse Sales. Go on our TikTok channel. We post a lot of cute videos of real estate things we're doing. Jonathan likes to take some videos of us while we're sitting here. He'll post that on TikTok, I'm sure. And the podcast and different innuendos and that kind of stuff about what's going on in the market.
Another thing I wanted to say.
Yes.
I am extremely proud of you.
Thank you for
starting this podcast. I remember when you brought us in here in, what was it?
June.
May, June. And, we were talking about this idea and you brought it to life and dedicating your time every week to it.
Thank you so much.
Obviously with the help of Eric and Jonathan, and it's remarkable.
Yes.
Because we all have so much going on, but I'm just so freaking proud of you.
Thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate that so much. Let's go back to the wheel for this absolute phenomenal chance to win the tumbler. And who's the lucky winner?
GA4SER.
It is G4SER.
G4SER.
Is that a TikTok user?
TikTok.
All right, so from our TikTok users, it's G4SER. We're looking forward to getting you a beautiful tumbler from Team Powerhouse. Everybody, congratulations. And please, go to our TikTok, friend us on TikTok, watch our little fun videos of real estate and things we do. Go to our Team Powerhouse Real Estate channel on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn. What else, Jonathan? Am I missing something?
YouTube.
And Spotify. If you're on Spotify, go to Spotify. We're on Spotify. Go to Spotify, download our shows. You can listen to them on the road. There are a lot of fun.
I was wondering where they are, because I know they're not on the Apple podcast. Okay, Spotify. Okay.
Yeah, Spotify. Definitely there.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. This is Charlsie Gaetano, our team rock star. Thank you so much again for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And we are excited for you, and thank you so much, everybody. Have a great
Happy
night.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh my God, that's right.
It's
Happy
New Year's.
Have an amazing New Year, guys. We'll talk to you soon next week.